Welcome back, my friends. Well, this is a bit of an update for the giant and show vegetables, and the giant carrot. This one was fed with nettle tea right at the bottom, concentrate. Then we top the container up, and personally I can't see a lot of difference. We've got a parsnip here, and I've just uncovered those slightly just so we can see it. Again, the other carrot, and they're all at the same sort of stage, really. Now these are Pete's back garden Kelsey onions, and there's no signs of any damage. I'm not sure whether I'm overwatering the onions. These are from Allotment Diary in Dan. Started from seed. Some of the vegetables are actually growing sideways, but the idea is to get them to roots, get loads of roots at the top, similar to manuring them, and the vegetables gaining legs. The long carrots have improved greatly, so much better, and now we've got the Gladiator F1 parsnips in the long parsnip barrel. Sweet candle stump carrots, these were for eating, but we'll see how they grow, see what we get towards show time. Not sure where I'm showing at the moment. We know we're going to Malvern with the giant vegetables. And just a quick look at the South African squash. The actual proper name for it, no, that isn't the proper name. That's the translation. I've got the name somewhere. So it just split now. Now this is the heavy. So I'll be removing some of these so that we can concentrate on getting one good one. I've got two plants of each variety, of the long and the heavy. Parsnips in the ground, keeping them well moist, and plenty of food. I have got to rethink the plant foods. I just haven't got enough. We'll see how we go. Here's the beetroot, giant beetroot. Wish I started these earlier now, but you never know, September's a long way away. Giant swede, I'm pleased with that actually. Giant cabbage, it's not very giant, but we'll have to wait and see. I'll probably have to start these off a lot earlier. The show long carrots outside, I've resown everything you can see with the bottles on. And the extra long barrel, it's got to be 5 foot. Just hang on there, guys. Some of these are looking a little bit weak, but we'll give them a chance. The outdoor ones aren't doing as well, but they may not go to seed, so this is the main thing. And the eating parsnips have all germinated now, especially the ones I had to replace. We had what was it now? I'll have to get some better labels. It's all wore off. I think they were white gem. and the main stump carrots outside. The second lot have now germinated and I've thinned them out, and where we've had damage I've resown again where the bottles are. We're in the onion cage with the Kelsey onions, and you can see there's some damage there. It's very, very similar to the onion moth larvae, so I'm going to be keeping a close eye on that. I'm plagued with that disease on this allotment. I'm hoping it's just hungry slugs because the frogs can't get into this cage, similar to the brassica cage, so we have to sometimes use slug pellets. Pleased with the red onions so far. They haven't, you know what, gone to seed, and the leeks are doing well. I should imagine another month I'm going to have to sort those out. 60-day broccoli, not good. Yeah, it's 60 days and then it goes to seed. Never had another crop off it after the 64th day. The onion in the wood chips doesn't look very well at all. I think that is down to overwatering, especially with all that heavy rain we had, and perhaps the water still being stuck in the trough at the bottom. So moving on there to the vegetables on the plot, and the trailing tomatoes in these raised containers on top of the lampshades, with the chard taking up a little bit of space there. Try and plant as close as I can. So we've got the turnips, and in between the turnips we've got beetroot because they'll probably come out first. Chard, well, yeah, brilliant. And then we're on to the Swedes. They're all in now, and they were very leggy, but they've gone in very deep, so hopefully they won't dry out and be able to draw the moisture from underneath. Most of the sweet corn are looking okay, but one or two are looking a little bit bedraggled. I think there's one or two slugs in there. We're in the brassica cage now, and all my efforts to try and stop the slugs were no avail. I had to pop a few slug pellets down in here. I don't mind doing that because the frogs can't get in, neither can the birds. But yeah, I think I've caught these just in time, but I think everybody knows that they've got to check their vegetables every day to see if there's any damage, else it just gets beyond repair. Yeah, red giant cabbages in the small brassica cage were struck by slugs very early on, and a little bit of damage, but I've managed to stop that, and hopefully these will do well. I do enjoy red cabbage. Slacked off a little bit with the successional sowing. These are ready, and then that's my next lot, and then we've got some more carrots sowed very, very thinly. They're sweet candle. Jerusalem artichokes in the container. The open bottom will now need some support before they fall over. The Sarpomera potato seed pod experiment, this is its second year, and some are doing better than others, but I'm pleased that they're actually growing. They were only small potatoes, remember. Jacket potato challenge, that's the hashtag Jacket Potato Challenge. So that potato was sowed well after the potato tower challenge, and I believe it's in there somewhere, but whether we'll do any good or not, I don't know. These are the Jerusalem artichokes in these small pots, just to limit the growth, and which it is doing, and hopefully we will get some nice small tubers from those on a regular basis. Well, if we spoke about these broad beans from the hashtag Beast from the East so many times and thought they're going to be gone, we've got quite a few pods there. And that'll go with the new potatoes on our Sunday lunch today. I've changed the bog garden slightly for where the celery is. I've removed the watercress. It looked like it was going to take over. This ground has stopped very, very damp, but so has the rest of the ground really, while we've had these really heavy thundery showers. So they're growing nicely, and again, we've been having to pick off a lot of slugs from this area too. It's been so wet and warm. The runner beans and French beans in both rows are doing well, and very, very little slug damage, so I'm pleased with those. And the chard, I'm going to let it go to seed. I've got a few chard seeds left, but it'd be interesting to see, especially because this one's lasted. I may get some good seeds off this, which will last like these have over winter. Sunflower challenge, I think this one is more of a muted one. It doesn't seem to be as good as this one. We're not to the top of the canes yet, but we can keep trying. Won't be long before I can take the netting from around the peas, the pigeons. Hopefully I'll go and have a go at somebody else's and not mine, because I'll need this around the third successional sowing. The first successional sowing failed. We've got a few gaps here, but I did use some of the old seed that didn't grow in the first one, but it must have took in this third successional because there wasn't that many new seeds put into these guttering. The salad bed has been very productive, but again, some of these plants like the rocket do go to seed very quickly, so I'm going to be selective as to actually what I have and what I use. And we've got a few more flowers here now ready to go into hashtag starting a new allotment and to take home. Now, somebody asked about these plastic covers. I haven't replied to your comment at the moment, but these are street lamps. So if you can imagine an aluminium cover there with a little dome on the top and a light sensor going down to a cast aluminium frame and then down the pole, and then the lamp would sit in there and light the street up. These are the plastic inserts. I'm the only person that actually saw the potential, so I did collect quite a few. The vegetable storage, the Swedes went rotten, and the parsnips, I still think I've got one or two left in there, but the compost needs to be extra dry, so I now have 3 bags at the moment of sieved cocoa coir from the compost that I'll get off the side of the road. That should be more than enough to sow some of the vegetables. A courgette in one of the corners, another one here. I'm hoping to train these up similar to the South African squash. And we've got a few lettuce in the polytunnel, and I've made use of all the cucumbers and the tomatoes. Now these 3 here are the shop bought ones. They're very sweet, trailing tomatoes. They're small ones, cherry tomatoes. And the rest I've decided to plant in the empty containers that have got the vine weevil in. I've got a spare cucumber there that can trail over the side. The fruit here is doing remarkably well considering the vine weevil's there, but obviously the vine weevil will work in at the roots. I'll get my fruit and then all the plants will probably die. Looks like I've got another crop off here. So we'll see what happens with that. May as well use the soil. I don't want to spread it everywhere. I don't want to spread those grubs everywhere. Nightmare. This will be full of colour. Sweet peas are just kicking off now. Got some hollyhocks just there, and a spare sunflower sitting in that corner. And finally, the salad bed. Looks like I've got another pick in there. Again, some of it's gone to seed. I'll cut that off at the bottom, see if it'll come back. And I'm really pleased I put those spare chard plants in the pot, which will keep giving us the extra leaves. Just had another delivery of guttering and fixings from quite a large building. Any of my local subscribers are welcome to some of this, and we can do a bit of a swapsy with something. That's my solar panel. A view of my allotment, and then hashtag starting an allotment just over there. Happy gardening to you all. Till next time, my friends. Ta-ra for now.